Hey, what's going on, you all? So welcome back to another video, and in this video I want to speak on something very important that I wanted to get out to you all. So last night I was laying in bed and I came across something on my news feed, and it was of Jeannie Mai from The Talk, and she was speaking on something that I found very important, and it was so important that I saved it. And it sparked this video for me today because I've actually been through that. So before I show you all the video, I want to preface the video with this. Have you ever noticed that when someone doesn't like you, it's almost nothing that you will ever be able to do to get them off your back? And it really truly makes you wonder, why do they even take the time? Like, why follow you around? Why watch everything that you do? Why research your life? They'll even pull others in to dislike you. That's like going to a restaurant and you don't like the service, you don't like the food, but yet you drive to the restaurant every day to protest and say why you don't like the food, instead of just spending the energy, the time, the resources, and the gas to go to the other thousands of restaurants that serve better food, right? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you this video.
I think that there are women out there who are uncomfortable with women who are comfortable with themselves. And I'm speaking from a personal place. I got my whole life that Jeannie's fake. How you can be so happy all the time? I really do enjoy life. I really do like people.
Yeah.
And I do have ups and downs, and I don't always like what I'm going through, but I love myself. And I think that a lot of women had a problem around me because they didn't like that I really like me.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is a threat to you.
Yeah.
And that's something else that's going on with you.
Right. Yeah.
But it took a long time to get to know that. So sometimes don't take it personally when other people got a problem, because it's really more about themselves. That is the word.
That's the word.
That's the word right there.
That's the word.
Because you got a problem with yourself. You don't believe me. Yeah.
People are truly uncomfortable with people who are comfortable with themselves. You will get bullied more for being comfortable with yourself in a room of people who are not comfortable with themselves. When you're at ease in your own skin, it reminds them of parts of themselves that they never made peace with. And that's how you can always find out who never made peace with themselves. Your confidence, your calm, your ability to exist without constantly seeking approval, that really does make people mad. It really truly does. They can't stand that kind of reflection. So instead of asking, why am I unsettled by this person's comfort, they turn it outwards. They criticize, they pick apart, or they attack because, tearing you down really does feel easier than facing what's missing inside of themselves. So I'm going to show you all another video.
You ever wonder why there's grown-ass adult bullies acting like they still in high school? It's because their brain is stuck. People with narcissistic tendencies tend to have trauma they don't got the balls to face and heal from. Remember that their emotional maturity stays at the age of when their trauma occurred. So basically, it's arrested development. Not like the TV show, but when their brain clocked out at 15 and never clocked back in. It's easier to just project that pain onto other people, especially considering the fact that they base their whole mentality and personality off of being the victim. They might not even know who they are outside of that. So then they walk around with this everyone will feel my pain villain mentality. And then of course they'll have their followers who look up to them, mistaking their insecurities and bitterness for strength. But don't worry, they're dealing with the same thing internally. So no, they don't stop after elementary, middle school, or even high school. It stops when they finally realize it's time to grow up and let go of the past, or when they finally catch that belt to ass that's been long overdue.
So you just saw that video of what that young man was talking about. See, the thing is, that kind of behavior goes beyond just not liking someone. At its core, it's an obsession. The opposite of liking isn't hate, it's indifference. If they truly didn't care, they would scroll past, they would ignore, they would move on with their life. But when someone keeps watching you, even when they claim they don't like you, that's energy. You know, maybe there's something about you that threatens them, like your presence, your visibility, the way you carry yourself, or just the fact that you exist in a way that they can't control. See, if you exist in a way that people can't control, they don't like that. And instead of dealing with their own self-doubt, they simply just throw it outwards. For some, these insecurities run so deep that they go all the way back to childhood, and they might be overcompensating for wounds that they never addressed. So I'm going to show you all another video.
Oftentimes what happens with bullying is that there is one bully who bullies someone, and then other people around them who are insecure, they don't want to get bullied themselves, and they want to fit in with the bully. So they will join in and start bullying the other person too. And now you have a whole group of people who are bullying one person. And if you've ever experienced this, you have to realize that you are not getting bullied by everybody because everybody hates you. You are getting bullied by everybody because everybody around you is weak and they are unwilling to speak up for what they actually believe because they don't want to get bullied themselves.
So you all just saw that video, and here's another layer. Some bullies were bullied themselves. Back then, they had no choice but to take it. So they swallowed the humiliation. They carried around that powerlessness feeling for a real long time, for years. And now when they get like a little bit of clout, they never want to feel that small again. So instead of breaking the cycle, which is, the mature way to go, they flip it. They want to make the world feel what they once felt. So they target others as a way of staying on the safe side of power. So it's nothing, about just watching you. They also want other people to watch you and dislike you too. That's why you notice they never operate alone. They never operate alone. Trying to turn others against you validates their feelings, and it gives them a sense of more control. Because look at all these people I can recruit. So it's less about you, and it's more about their need for influence. And see, here's the part that can really get triggering. No matter how you respond, it feels like you can't win. If you clap back, then they escalate. But if you stay silent, that doesn't stop them either. They see that really as a challenge. And at the same time, if you notice, conflict draws people. Like, you could sit here and you could make videos about, all the little leprechauns and unicorns and ponies and, all the good stuff in life. And really no one ever really pays attention, but create conflict. And here's something else you have to think about. There's something called social cost. Okay? If someone defends you, they risk being excluded, embarrassed, or dragged into the same mess. And for them, it feels safer to just watch, even if they know it's wrong. So others might even feel like relief, like while someone is targeting you, they'll think to themselves, hey, at least it's not me. And here's a perspective that, I hope it helps. Not to sugarcoat it, but just to give it some framework. Their fixation usually says more about their own inner world than it does about you. And like I said, I know it sounds cliche. It doesn't help you when you're going through it. But when someone's insecurities run deep, or when they're fueled by the memory of being powerless themselves, they tend to spend years trying to patch over that pain by controlling and tearing others down. So it doesn't excuse the behavior, but it definitely explains why no amount of your silence or your response seems to satisfy them, because they're not fighting you. They're really not fighting you. They're fighting their past. And you just happen to be a filler. You just happen to be a stand-in. So that's what I want you all to remember. They're not fighting you. They're fighting something in their past. And whatever it is in their past is bigger than you. I want to show you all one more video because I found this video the most important of all.
Another reason that people that are so hated on become successful later in life often is because they've mastered the ability to be disliked. A lot of people will want to be successful, want to be in the limelight, want to amass a following, but they're not able to really feed into that image they have for themselves once it starts to come, because a lot of celebrity, being known, or being successful is attention and what you do with it. While you're expecting positive attention, people are more prone to hate. And so in order to be successful, you have to get comfortable with being hated or disliked, and not your regular level of it. I mean hated and disliked by entire social media platform. You have to have really tough skin. And if your first time being exposed to being hated on, extremely disliked, is when you're in the limelight, a lot of people don't know how to cope with that, especially because this is their first time feeling it.
So you see in that video, she said something very important. She said, you have to master the ability to be disliked. And that was very powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You have to learn to be comfortable with people not liking you. Now, I know when you're young, you're in elementary school, you're in middle school, you're in high school, like, you know, you're impressionable, you're social, you want people to like you. I get that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when I make these videos, don't think that I don't understand what it's like to be in that position when you're in grade school, you know? But after you come out of that and you start putting the world together, you have to learn to master the ability to be disliked. And that's why, like she said, a lot of people are successful because they know that. So when you're clear about what matters most to you, you can tolerate pushback more easily. Like when you know something is real for you, when you feel it deep down inside, you could tolerate the pushback. And clear and calm boundaries make it easier to accept that some people won't like you, but it still doesn't make what you're doing wrong. So I just want to come and say that, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.